dance has been 30 seconds, 20 seconds. तुम दो सिंपल वाले स्टेप करके तुम्हारे व्यूज मिलियंस में जाते हैं, पर अगर तुम मेहनत करके नाचो वो कोई नहीं देखा. It's killing the actual essence of dance. My first shoot happened with Parinita. So I was doing Kaisi Paheli. I was assisting and teaching Rekha at that moment of time. Huge, because first time, being a part of the film industry and also teaching her was absolutely like, I was really awestruck at that moment of time. मुझे इंडस्ट्री के औरतों के साथ काम करना था. आई वांटेड टू वर्क विद फरा मैम, वैभवी मैम, सरोज खान मैम. आई जस्ट फील सो बैड आई नेवर वर्क विद हर, बट आई होप आई डू एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. I think I got lucky working on Race 2 because I got to work with Jacqueline. She did Lat Lag Gai, and she's ready to mold herself into the choreography that you're trying to throw at her. It kind of affects me if I see a drop-down notification saying "Moti kitya dharti put rahi tere wajah se." अगर उनको hate देना है, sure, that's no problem. I gave it a lot of love. Hi, I'm Karishma Chavan. You're watching me on midday.com, and happy International Dance Day.
Hello everyone, we are celebrating International Dance Day here at midday.com, and we have a very special guest here with us today, choreographer Karishma Chavan, who has been working in the film industry for over 18 years, has choreographed some of the top artists, worked in popular films and on reality shows, has been on the judges panel of shows like Dance Plus. Hi Karishma, welcome to midday.com.
Hi Boni, thank you so much for having me.
It's a great day and a great opportunity to speak to talented artists like you who've been working in the industry for so long. Let's go a little back, Karishma, and tell us about your journey. How did dance become your passion and career?
Dance has been with me ever since I was a little child. I was encouraged to be a part of cultural programs in my society. And as small as 4 years old, I entered in a fancy dress competition, and that's when it all started. And it has been with me through school as well. But when I went into Shamak Davar's classes at about 12 years old is when I actually took it seriously. And I was like, okay, this is something I really, really like doing. I really want to do this for the rest of my life. I didn't know how at 12 years old, but I said, if I continue to train myself, I'm sure I'll get there. And I was very fascinated with Chamak's troupe and, their company. And I said, okay, this is something that I definitely want to do. And then eventually, as a dancer, I entered at about 18 and a half years old. I luckily had somebody who was from the dancing world who kind of said, okay, if you're a very good dancer, come join this particular show. And I did a stage show for the first time professionally. And from there, it was no looking back. I just continued to get work because, people found me talented enough to be a part of their projects.
How did show business start for you, in the sense films, shows on television? How did all that begin?
So I used to be a part of this aerobics class in Chembur with Darren Das's academy. And post the classes, he has to have dance rehearsals with these dancers for his corporate events. So I used to stay back and, watch these dancers perform. And I used to be so fascinated. I was like, मुझे भी ये करना है. And I used to ask Darren, मुझे भी ले लो, like, क्यों मुझे नहीं लेके जा रहे हो? And he's like, you have to lose weight. तब तक नहीं हो पाएगा. And the same thing was told to me even, when it came to Shamak's. And I did lose a little more weight. I also tried an audition for Terence Lewis's company. That also didn't happen. So I had to really seriously drop down a lot of kilos. I had to come down to my ideal size of 60 kilos. And then when Terence also did not happen, I just called this friend of mine who was dancing behind in Darren's show. I was like, listen, I want to become a professional dancer. If you ever think, that I'm good enough to be a part of it, you just give me a call. He's like, why not? I think you're damn good. I will call you as soon as there is something. The very next day, he called me up and he is like, listen, come audition for this particular show with Pooja and Uttam and come and dance and we'll see from where it goes. So I said, okay, theek hai. And I auditioned there, very nervous. But luckily, I was picked up and allowed to be a part of that show. So then that is how it started. So Udhar say all the other dancers saw me and they're like, "You're really good. We'll call you for the next project. We'll call you for the next project." So uske baad, I didn't even ask for work. जैसे dance करती गई, people saw me dancing and they started calling me. तो वो into the industry वाला move. And then my first shoot happened with Parinita. So I was doing Kaisi Paheli with Rekha, ma'am, and Udhar, I did actually assist, Howard on that particular project. I was assisting and teaching Rekha at that moment of time. Huge because first time, being a part of the film industry and also teaching her was absolutely like, awestruck. I was really awestruck at that moment of time. So वो मेरा पहला shoot था. And from there on, Harshal Vittal, who are my mentors, they saw me in their particular show that I had done for Star Parivar, and they're like, "You have a knack to assist. You have a knack to choreograph." So, and they recognized that quality in me, and they picked me up. From there, I was just doing reality shows for like 5.5 years as a choreographer. So you name it, Nach Valiye, Dancing Queen, Jhalak Dikhla Ja, I did all the works. फिर उसके बाद तो shoots I was very very knowing that मुझे बड़े पर्दे पर कोरियोग्राफ करना है रियलिटी तो एक होता है पर I think I want to make my mark on the big screen. So that is where I said I want to assist choreographers who are part of the industry like that. So I fortunately had the opportunity to assist Ahmad Khan, and he gave me a lot of encouragement at that moment of time. I learned so much under him. And then I had Remo sir also because he picked me up for ABCD. And he also gave me, a couple of movies to assist with him. So I have had like the best of the best experiences. But I थोड़ा सा मुझे I feel I missed out क्योंकि मुझे इंडस्ट्री के औरतों के साथ काम करना था. I wanted to work with Farah ma'am, Vaibhavi ma'am, Saroj Khan ma'am. I just feel so bad I never worked with her, and I really wanted to work for them. I've never still had the opportunity to work for them, but I hope I do at some point of time.
What was the most fulfilling project for you? Which film or show was it? The one that you really, really cherish having worked on?
I think I got lucky working on Race 2 because I got to work with Jacqueline. She did Lat Lag Gayi, and I was part of that project. And I thought, it was one of the higher moments of my life where I felt that an artist gave me her all. It's very rare to find an artist who says, chalo, let's karte hai. And she's that person. She's ready to mold herself into the choreography that you're trying to throw at her. And even the same thing happened for, when we did Jume Ki Raat with Ahmad Khan. She was supposed to do this very tiny piece of choreography, which was her solo. And she had to just go all out, and she was supposed to be like a drunk moment of hers. And I pushed her. I was like, नहीं तुम कर सकते हो, and it was very tough क्योंकि उसमें cartwheels थे, splits थे, she had to go all out. और अहमद सर ने कैमरा रोल करना बंद नहीं किया. He took it in one take. And she was really scared in the first rehearsal. She's like, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" I said, "I'm very sure you can definitely do this. There is no two ways about it." And she showed faith in me. I think that is what you want from an artist. That if somebody sees something in you, na, वो उसको you should accept it. So she's that person who accepts that. वो देख भी है कुछ मुझ में. Or that is why she's pushing me. So I pushed her and she just like came out with flying colors. So I think those moments have been highlights for me because the artist has just like, come on, let's do this.
Like you've mentioned female choreographers that you want to work with. Any actors that you have not yet worked with and would like to?
I would love to work with Shraddha Kapoor, because I think she's another one who gives her best. Luckily that she has that attitude. I have done ads with her, but a proper film song. Sarah, definitely. She's also another one who I think will match my energy of, how, it's supposed to be very, very bold, very out there. I still want to work with Madhuri, man. I still haven't done that. So yeah, there are lots of left on the list.
We see you on social
Yes.
media performing various kinds, but if you could tell us what have you trained in, what
So
is your comfort zone?
So I trained in jazz. That's
Hmm.
where I came from because that's my base with Chamak. I trained there, but I luckily learned a lot more after that. I got trained in hip hop as well from New York Broadway Dance Center. Then I also got salsa lessons from the best in the country over here. So, and I've done contemporary. I have done Bollywood, obviously, because of the number of years spent here. So for me, I have trained in everything, thoda 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 kar diya hai, and I have developed my own style. So if you see me, I don't choreograph a particular style. I
Yes,
choreograph what the music makes me feel,
yes.
and that's how I take inspiration. Where when my movement comes from the feeling, as opposed it comes from a particular style of dance.
Karishma, you also mentioned about at one point of time you had to like lose weight to be a certain size to be able to be on shows and stuff. Right now,
Yes,
you are very vocal about body positivity, and it doesn't matter what size you
absolutely.
are. It is amazing to see you move and do everything. It does. You don't have to really be skinny to be able to pull off those moves, right?
Yes.
So that confidence, where has it come from? Did it take time to get there and be unapologetic about the size that you are?
So confidence एक था कि my parents never put me down about who I am, or they just gave me pros and cons. अगर आप ये करोगे आपका ये फायदा या ये घाटा होगा. It was very simple. There was no fear instilled in me, कभी डर नहीं मुझे सिखाया गया. तो ये जब जब तुम्हें पेरेंट्स का सपोर्ट मिलता है, यू डोंट you obviously wonder why people are not accepting you, but that doesn't break your confidence to that extent कि मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी. बिल्कुल नहीं, ये तो कभी आया ही नहीं. And I'm the kind of person who takes rejection in such a way where I channelize it and turn it into something positive. I'm like, नहीं, आपको नहीं लगता कि मैं लायक हूँ? ठीक है, रुक जाओ, मैं आऊंगी आपके पास. And unfortunately, that is what has happened. Everything, the tables have really turned in all of that, and it's beneficial to me. I don't worry about what they say. They have their right to say whatever they want to say. That is their right to opinion. But it is my duty to fulfill my dreams, and whatever it may be. And if I don't fit in a particular mold, that doesn't mean I'm not capable. I'm sure that जब भी लोगों ने अब या कोरियोग्राफर्स ने मुझे असिस्टेंट के दौर पर मुझे उठाया है, तो obviously they've seen something in me. It is not about the size, it is about the talent, and I kept saying that, and I keep saying that. And I'm dreaming of that day where I see backup dancers of all shapes and sizes, performing their best, because I think it's high time. And ऐसा नहीं कि एक टाइम पे नहीं होता था. If you go back in the day, and if you check these movie songs, like if you see Husn Hai Suhana, just for example, if you see that song is choreographed by Ganesh Acharya, another big guy, and if you see the backup dancers over there, they are really full girls. And when I go back to that, I see that I was like, if she can do it, why not anybody else? And everybody else should be able to do it. I think it's about bringing about the change. And me as a choreographer, I also follow that as a part of my, choosing dancers. So when I get the opportunity to say, okay, let's bring on auditions, I only look for talent. I don't look for size. I don't look for height. I don't look for color. I just look for talent. And that's the way I treat my work. And I think that is where the change comes around, right? If you're subject to something, you should be able to fight it and say, नहीं, अगर किसी ने मुझे मेरे साथ ये किया है, मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए आगे. I think that is where it comes from. So that's my body positivity movement for the industry.
But when you put out your videos on Instagram, I'm sure
Yeah.
not all the comments are very kind. How do you deal
Oh
with that
no.
negativity?
These are just people who are on their keyboard and they are trying to, bring about a lot of hate. But I think for me, Of course, it kind of affects me if I see a drop down notification saying "Moti kitya dharti put rahi tere wajah se." Of course, it does affect me. It doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't affect me, but I think they are far more miserable with their life, far more less achieved, and will never get to places if their attitude is like that. And I'm lucky to be able to be on the receiving end, because that's where you have the attention, right? You have all eyes on you. And if you want good, these people won't be looking through your videos. It's not possible. So, अगर उनको hate देना है, sure, that's no problem. I give it a lot of love. In fact, when I reply to comments, I'm like, God bless you, my child. I hope you have a lot of love in your life. And if you have a problem, please visit my company's website. We will help you. So I'm very positive about it. So this is how I deal with it.
Also, I wanted to understand from you. You've grown up in Bombay, right? You've always
Yes.
worked in this city. Tell me, how has the city helped to nurture your talent? And
Mm,
in terms of spaces for dancers to
mm,
rehearse,
mm.
shoot, and everything, how
Yeah.
easy has it been to find space? Because we all talk about how Bombay mein space nahi hai. How has that been as a dancer? Because we need to find space to
Yeah.
express ourselves, right? You can't just sit
Yes.
in a corner and sing. So,
Yes.
how has that been, and how has it changed after pandemic?
For me, when I grew up in Bombay, I think as a city, Bombay is very welcoming to talent. कौन कहाँ से उभर के स्टार बन जाए, ये तो डेफिनेटली कोई गारंटी नहीं है, बट डेफिनेटली बहुत चांसेस बहुत हाई. That is for sure. Some people here and there from the industry, कहाँ से contact बन जाता है और तुम सही जगह पहुंच जाते हो, which is the great part about being a part of this industry. कि if you are talented, कहीं ना कहीं से तुम निकल के definitely आओगे. When it comes to dancing spaces, there have been obviously spaces sprouting up all the time. In fact, मुझे लगता था कि back in the day इतने डांस रिहर्सल हॉल्स नहीं थे जितने एक्चुअली अभी है पर डांसर्स बढ़ गए हैं, काम बढ़ गया है, तो ऑब्वियसली बुकिंग्स में प्रॉब्लम होती है. बट देर आर बिग स्पेसेस एंड देर आर टाइनी स्पेसेस एज वेल. Post pandemic, tiny spaces have come up because they're catering to the Instagram culture, which blasted during COVID, right? So इंस्टाग्राम रील्स बनाने के लिए एक छोटा सा कमरा है, एक वॉल पे कुछ है, दूसरे वॉल पे कुछ है, तीसरे वॉल पे कुछ है, और लोग वहां वीडियो शूट करते हैं. सो एवरीथिंग हैज बिकम इन द वर्टिकल फॉर्मेट. डांस हैज बिन 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 45 seconds max अगर हुआ तो. That is killing talent. It's killing the actual essence of dance because तुम दो सिंपल वाले स्टेप करके तुम्हारे व्यूज मिलियंस में जाते हैं, पर अगर तुम मेहनत करके नाचो वो कोई नहीं देखा. So that is the problem right now, and I think the Instagram culture has kind of ruined dance in that way because nobody is taking dance seriously anymore. It's only about how many views I have on Instagram on my reels.
Great, great. Thank you so much
Great.
for your time.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. Bye.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.